Ronald Reagan is an interesting character, whether you like him or hate him. And in the chapter, I capture some of the experiences of other Gen Xers like me who had their own personal experience, kind of living through the Reagan era. And there's a wide variety of opinion. And I try to capture that here with what made Ronald Reagan so memorable, so impactful. And it's difficult because he doesn't fit the traditional mold. So the excerpt I want to read is from the beginning of the chapter to kind of set up these different perspectives and why I chose the result that I did. So here goes. When you think about what makes a great brand, a brand that endures for years or even decades, it's usually because it crystallizes just one image in your mind, one word, or one feeling. That clarity not only helps the brand own a piece of your mental real estate, but it also helps differentiate that brand from its competition. Consider the singular brand associations in the list below. Ford trucks, tough. Toyota, reliable. Apple, innovative. Microsoft, productive. Lego, creative. Disney, magic. Kemp's, it's the cows. Great brands can coexist with each other in the market, offer nearly identical products and services, and still not meaningfully compete. That's because consumers don't see them as identical options. Many people would never consider a Toyota truck over a Ford truck, even though they are, for the most part, functionally identical. That's how valuable a singular focus is. Politicians aren't brands, of course, but they've taken to heart the lessons from advertising. They've learned that a strong brand has the power to shape minds and drive actions. You've seen this yourself. During each presidential campaign, hopefuls jockey for position in the minds of potential voters. Ronald Reagan, by contrast, doesn't seem to follow any of those rules. As I worked to map my experience in branding onto the public persona of President Reagan, I struggled. It seemed that everywhere I looked, there was a different perspective, with very little overlap between them. According to my singular focus rule, if Reagan were a brand, he'd be a poor example. Nonetheless, he remains one of the most enduring examples of great marketing in all presidential history. How is it possible that Reagan could mean so many different things to so many different people? So that's the concept and the take. And many of you may remember that in the blog portion that kind of led up to this book, I reached out to many of you and asked what your opinions were of President Reagan, and some of your quotes make it into the book as far as the theme and the thought of what you were getting at, and I explored multiple issues in here. It's a fun chapter. It was kind of interesting for me to remember my own impressions of President Reagan and how different my impressions were from all of the others. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating case study in marketing and branding. I love it when things don't quite fit the mold, and Reagan most certainly did not fit the mold. So enjoy it. Chapter 40, President Ronald Reagan in Marketer in Chief, available anywhere books are sold in just a few days, July 4th, 2021. Hope you pick one up.